Imagine trying to run a full-speed sprint without any fuel. Or think about trying to charge your smartphone when the power grid is completely down. Or picturing a massive, futuristic city just trying to function with zero electricity. It sounds completely impossible, right? Well, today, we are stepping into the ultimate chemistry classroom to solve a really brilliant biological puzzle. I am so pumped to guide you through this explainer because we're looking at the exact molecules that are keeping you alive right this very second. Get ready, because we are talking about carbohydrates, the energy currency of life.
So think about this. What actually powers a student cramming for their chemistry exams? A track athlete mid-stride, a constantly beating heart, and your glowing, firing brain every single second of every day. From the absolute moment you wake up to the second you fall asleep, there is a hidden fuel source driving your thinking, your walking, and your breathing. The answer? Carbohydrates. Your brain in particular relies super heavily on one specific carbohydrate called glucose just to function at all.
Here's our syllabus for today's explainer, laid out like a progress bar. We'll start with the energy of life, move to simple sugars and bridges, then we'll look at giant molecular structures. After that, it's cyclic structures and properties, biology and diet, and finally, a rapid-fire revision to lock it all in for your exams.
All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the energy of life.
At a foundational chemical level, carbohydrates are organic compounds made entirely of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Literally, it means hydrated carbon. Now, the formal textbook definition is that they are polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones or substances that produce them upon hydrolysis. I know that sounds like a massive mouthful, but don't let the big words intimidate you. Here is your crucial exam tip. Nature designed these specific molecules for one primary reason: to manage, to provide, and to store energy, while also giving some serious structural support.
Moving right along to section 2, simple sugars and molecular bridges.
Scientists divide these molecules into 3 main categories: monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. Let's start with monosaccharides. These are your foundational building blocks. They simply cannot be broken down into smaller sugar units through hydrolysis. First up is glucose, which is our blood sugar. Every time you eat carbs, your body works to convert most of them right into this glucose. Next is fructose, honestly one of the sweetest naturally occurring sugars out there, found in fruits and honey. And finally, galactose, which teams up with glucose to form the sugar in milk. Now here is a fascinating must-know exam fact. Glucose, fructose, and galactose all share the exact same molecular formula. Same exact atoms, but their completely different structural arrangements give them entirely different properties. It's chemical architecture at its finest.
Okay, so how do these individual single blocks actually become chains? Well, when we move up to oligosaccharides, which contain anywhere from 2 to 10 of these monosaccharide units, they have to be linked together, and they connect through these special linkages called glycosidic bonds. I want you to visualize glycosidic bonds as intricate little molecular bridges, just snapping 2 simple sugars together to form something entirely new. For your exams, the most important oligosaccharides you absolutely need to know are the disaccharides. That means exactly 2 monosaccharide units connected by that glycosidic bridge. Sucrose, which is just your standard common table sugar, is formed from glucose plus fructose. Lactose, the sugar in milk, is glucose plus galactose, and maltose, which is produced when starches are digested, is simply 2 glucose molecules joined together. Definitely memorize these building block combos.
Let's zoom out a bit for section 3, giant molecular structures. We've gone from single blocks to pairs. Now let's talk about polysaccharides. These are massive, giant molecules containing hundreds, sometimes thousands of linked monosaccharide units. Because they're so huge, they take on some of the most heavy-duty biological functions on Earth. A vital distinction for your exams is how life actually stores its excess energy. Starch is the primary storage carbohydrate in plants. Think foods like rice, potatoes, wheat. When we eat those, our digestion breaks that massive starch chain right back down into usable glucose. On the other hand, we have glycogen, which is often called animal starch. This is stored mainly in human livers and muscles. Its highly branched structure is a completely brilliant evolutionary design because it allows for super rapid energy release right when you need it, like during a really intense workout or just to keep you going between meals.
But hey, not all giant structures are just for storing energy. Take a look at cellulose. It's literally one of the most abundant organic compounds on our entire planet. Unlike starch and glycogen, cellulose serves a purely structural role.
It forms the rigid, tough cell walls of plants, giving them their strength. Now here's the catch for us. Human beings actually cannot digest cellulose for energy. We just don't have the enzymes for it. But it is still incredibly vital for our diet because it acts as dietary fiber, which is absolutely essential for keeping our digestion healthy and moving.
Okay, let's do a quick interactive quiz. Let's see if you were paying attention. Go ahead and just call out the answers if you know them. Number 1, which carbohydrate serves as energy storage in plants? Yep, that's starch. Number 2, which carbohydrate stores energy in animals? That's glycogen. And number 3, which one provides structural support in plants? Moving into Section 4, cyclic structures and properties. Up until now, we've mostly been picturing these sugars in their linear forms, where the carbon atoms basically form an open chain. But chemistry is dynamic, right? In aqueous solutions, like, say, the watery environment inside your own body, they don't usually just stay in an open chain. They fold up into cyclic ring-shaped forms. Glucose, for example, forms a super stable 6-membered ring structure called a pyranose ring. Other carbohydrates fold into 5-membered rings known as furanose rings. Here is a lifesaver of a memory trick for your advanced chemistry exams. Furanose starts with an F, and it is a 5-membered ring. F for 5. Seriously, remember that, and you'll easily keep pyranose and furanose straight on test day. Now let's look at a really critical laboratory property of these sugars. Not all carbohydrates react the exact same way to chemicals. We divide them into reducing sugars and non-reducing sugars. Reducing sugars, like glucose and maltose, actually have the chemical ability to reduce mild oxidizing agents. Non-reducing sugars, like sucrose, simply cannot do this. This specific distinction is heavily tested in chemistry labs because it's exactly how scientists go about identifying different unknown carbohydrates in a sample. I want you to burn this number into your memory right now. 4. Why 4? Because every single gram of carbohydrate yields exactly 4 kilocalories of energy. That specific energy density makes carbohydrates the human body's absolute primary go-to fuel source above all else. Section 5. Biological importance and diet. So how do these microscopic chemical structures actually impact human health and the biology of the world around us? Well, their importance goes way, way beyond just acting as fuel or giving structural support to cells. Carbohydrates are actually positioned on the outside surfaces of our cells, acting as these incredibly complex biological communicators. They essentially help cells identify and interact with one another. This cell recognition feature is absolutely essential for your immune system, for cellular signaling, and basically for keeping your body safe from foreign invaders. Because they play such a crucial role, our everyday diet matters immensely. Obviously, many foods we eat, rice, bread, potatoes, legumes, they're all rich in carbohydrates, but not all sources are equally beneficial to your body. Balanced, fiber-rich choices like whole grains, fruits, and vegetables provide a nice, steady release of energy, and they support your overall health. On the flip side, highly refined sugars are much less beneficial. They cause these rapid energy spikes and crashes, and completely lack that crucial fiber and balanced nutrition your body actually needs. We're at the final stretch, Section 6, Rapid Fire Revision. Let's construct the ultimate carbohydrate mind map together right now to completely lock in your mastery before your exams. Ready? Simplest carbs, monosaccharides. Primary cell energy, glucose. Common table sugar, sucrose. Plant energy storage, starch. Animal energy storage, glycogen. Plant cell walls, cellulose. And finally, the energy provided per gram, exactly 4 kilocalories. If you have those facts locked down, you are in incredible shape. Which brings us right back to the core thesis of our entire explainer today. Carbohydrates are the fuel that powers life itself. Every single thought you think,
Every step you take, and literally every single heartbeat, depends heavily on the chemical energy that these incredible molecules provide. They truly are the energy currency of life. And that leaves us with one final, very important question to think about. Since these fascinating molecules are currently working away inside your cells to power every thought, step, and heartbeat, how are you going to spend your energy currency today? Thank you so much for learning with me. Stay curious, keep studying hard, and I'll see you in the next explainer.